I've been through a lot of things in my life, like many of you have, but that does make us the kind of person that we are today. And I just want to say that I have lots to share. Sometimes I don't even realize that I have lots to share. And I know for a fact that by talking and voicing myself online, it helps me to reflect on my own stories and kind of helps me to identify, the areas that I'm doing well, which is important because we need to give ourselves a pat on the back. I think we take ourselves for granted too often, and we just keep looking forward and pushing ourselves to do more. It's been quite a while since I've been hearing comments like, you have so much to share, why don't you put more effort into sharing your advice or your experience with others? But even though I agree to that at some point, I often feel like I put myself down. And you probably are like me if you are a perfectionist or if you've been that kind of person who continuously advances yourself in every aspect of your life. So we need to sit down, take a breath, and reflect on all of the things that have been happening in our lives and just focus on the now. If there's 2 takeaways that I want to get from uploading this video is number one, I've kind of found one of my life targets and one of my life purposes and the why that I know I can answer very easily without a doubt, without a second thought of why I am posting things like this on my social media would be that I want to give good advice to my loved ones who don't really want the advice right now. But I know I am sitting down with whoever this person might be. It includes many people that I know. They're not really engaged or they don't really want to hear me out, and they kind of label my comments as, 잔소리. In Korean, 잔소리 means unnecessary talk, things that you already know. It's like a mother speaking to a child even though she's an adult. You've been there, right? You probably have been on the other side too if you have a parent, if you grew up with a parent who was constantly giving you advice because they want you to do well. So it's the same thing here, but interestingly, I found that when I'm posting my comments and all these advices and opinions and experiences to help other people online, the people who want this advice and who need the advice are actually coming to me. And so this gives me my second reason to post, and possibly yours if you are thinking about posting YouTube videos. I definitely recommend you to do it because I know, and I've experienced it myself even though I'm not constantly on YouTube, is that it has helped me kind of collect my thoughts in a way that is very useful not only to myself but has a very positive outcome. So that's one thing. Sharing my thoughts to those who I really love who don't really want my advice. If that makes any sense at all. It includes myself. You know how when you give advice and you hear somebody else saying the same thing and it sounds like advice, except when you're talking to yourself, it's not really advice? Another reason that I would like to post this video is because 두 개라고 했는데 하나는 뭐지? The second one is to help myself. I'm a person who is very much into evolution, constantly finding ways to improve my life and seeking ways to use my talents in any way possible, trying to fill the gap. It's always difficult when you haven't started it. And when you start it, that's when you get the feedback, the likes and the comments. And that's when you start to realize, this is actually helpful for me, not only myself, but for other people out there as well. So if you found any of this entertaining for whatever reason, maybe perhaps you've been wanting to see my next videos come online, or just because you are not sure about your future or are someone like me and are always looking for ways to advance in your life, then please do like and comment on this video. And if you have any suggestions or questions, please do share. I have to say, earlier on, and I'm still probably doing this, experimenting as I go, I posted a video of myself putting makeup on. Very much interestingly, I started to get responses from people who didn't follow me previously. think it was because I used a trending topic, which was makeup, maybe perhaps Korean, and it prompted a lot of comments that were pointed at the wrong way I was putting makeup on. But I didn't take it as a discomfort. I actually took the advice that some of my commentaries said, and it was actually very helpful. So I am totally trying to put myself out there to be positive, and I hope you do too. And maybe perhaps I can find the courage to continue to post more videos like this. So now, today's 잔소리 will be, there is a reason that people try to put in effort to, as they get up in the morning, the first thing you do is make your bed. Now, I know this might sound cliche, but from someone like me who used to be very unorganized and very chaotic, to me, now that I'm in my 50s, I am finding it very relaxing and very calming after I have seen a very nicely cleaned desk or room, or especially my bed. If it is not made when I come home, I will feel like I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. All I need to do is just make sure that that's the first thing I do. It's like the first movement I will make. That's like way before even going to the bathroom to brush my teeth. The first thing I'll do is just, as I pop out of bed, is make my bed. And I think that's really important because it sets the tone for the entire rest of the day, not only physically, but also mentally. And I think that once you do things that you promise yourself to do that are definitely positive, it helps you to build a foundation of a lifestyle that you know that you can trust yourself to follow. It gives you confidence to move on to the next challenge. And how big that will be doesn't really matter, as long as you're making sure you take care of these little steps in your life that'll make a big difference, not only for yourself, but also for the people around you, and especially if there are people who can actually see your bed because you live in the same space or because you have guests coming. And this makes sense because all of us have experienced how clean our rooms can be when we have guests coming over. So if you're the kind of person who normally does not clean your room or doesn't have like an organized space that looks very nice, like a hotel room or a cafe, I personally like spaces that speak to you and give you this calm, very welcoming vibe. And of course, I am not clean all the time, but when I really want a big cleanup, I will like literally invite people to come over to my house because I know at least in the 5 minutes or 10 minutes before they arrive, I am going to be going around the room like crazy, in the house like crazy, trying to hide the messy stuff. And even just that one big swoosh cleanup, it actually puts everything in perspective, and it kind of reminds me of, wait, those things did not have to be there. That does not always have to be out in the open like that. This can be organized in a different way. And so if you're like that and you just definitely cannot get yourself to stay clean every day, then at least invite your friends over as often as possible so that you can remind yourself that you can be a clean person. Again, this is not for you to be clean. It is for you to make promises to yourself and keeping them and being good to yourself, because that gives you more of the leisure to enjoy life and the things around you, and not having to worry about the chaos and the clutter, because one day you are going to come to a point where you are just stuck in a rut and you feel like you're not able to advance forward because of all of these things around you or the messiness around you, and you're already like chaotic in your head because you have so many things to do at work. It will not help if you are not helping yourself in the most intimate space that you have, which is your room, and it begins with your bed. Make sure that you put things away that are on top of your bed. Put them all in your closet. If you have things that are hanging out that are not supposed to be there, just fold them. They don't have to be neat. Just fold them and just put them on to the cabinets or the spaces that they're meant for, and see the magic happen in your life. Again, if you have any suggestions for any other comments, please click follow and share a comment, and I'll be more than happy to share more things that I go through in my life that maybe perhaps will be of help to you. See you in our next talk.